My dad's taking the hypnosis course.
Yeah, he is.
IT engineer, system admin. If anyone's familiar with, well, I guess he's database admin now, but taking the course. He's like, I'm really interested in like this hypnosis stuff and the trauma you're talking about. I was like, well, I teach a course on that, right, Dad? He's like, that'd be really cool. I'm like, I get you access to it. So he's been taking it, man. Just like, I'm like, what a great perspective to have as just like a total layperson outside of this mental health counseling game. And he's finding a lot of really valuable stuff from it. Leaving some comments inside of the online platform, the e-learning course that we use. And he was making some references because he's in, it's recent. So he's just in like, session 1.
The honeymoon phase.
The honeymoon phase. Yeah. It gets wild here soon. And so he was talking about his comparing it to centering prayer, which has been a part of his life. And so centering prayer kind of comes from like the Gnostic Gospels and stuff like that. And there's this big movement to like quiet the mind. And so centering prayer, you just sit there. And there's no praying. There's no like saying or mantras. You just sit there with your mind empty. And so a thought comes in and you dismiss it. You just let it pass through. And so it's all about emptying the mind, which I relate to like mindfulness or meditation.
Sure. There's very important Buddhist practice about that.
Yeah. And so it's maybe there's like 3 boxes opening up in my head. There's like hypnosis. There's mindfulness and meditation, which is usually focusing on one thing, like a mantra or a sound or an intention. And then centering prayer, which is empty, like allowing the mind to bring up things and then let them pass out. And so I think over his time, he would share with me, like he took this very seriously. He would sit, early in the morning by himself and just empty his mind for like hours at a time. Not even thinking about one thing, but just letting it be empty, which to my ADHD brain sounds absolutely miserable. I'm like, I was talking with somebody. I was like, I have a high intake mind. I was like, more data, more stimulation usually leads to new ideas and revelation for me. I think for others, it doesn't. But the way that I talk about hypnosis with my clients, when trying to make that touch point of something they do understand, I'm like, well, you've meditated before, right? The Calm app is like, made meditation sort of tangible to the general public, brought that in. And I say, well, it's a similar brain state to meditation, but instead of pushing out distractions, we invite them. Because in hypnosis, we believe that the distractions the mind is bringing are actually communications of something that's going on inside of the emotions.
Yeah.
And so we're almost inviting that chatter, that noise, to say, okay, I hear you. What's going on there? Let me listen without judgment to understand why that would be coming up in this moment. Though it may seem unimportant, there's probably something very important that my mind in a moment of silence would bring that up first. Like, why is that the stressor? And so we ask questions to it rather than pushing it out. And I think that's wildly different than what most people think. Having a place where the chatter and the noise is invited rather than distracting it into a social media scroll or refocusing it on work or, channeling it into an affirmation. I think that's one of the things that's so unique about hypnosis, especially in this time that we are living in.
Yeah. And I'd even take it like maybe add one more category there too. Something kind of in the middle is I find that, when we're talking about centering the mind, there's this old Buddhist like metaphor of sitting on the edge of the river and watching things pass.
Yeah.
And I think that is incredibly centering when you just watch it come in, accept it, just observe it, and then watch it go. There's no judgment, no valuation, no anything. It's just, that's that. Okay. bye.
Moving on.
And then just doing that over and over is so grounding. And I think that if that is on one side of the spectrum, and then hypnosis on the other side of the spectrum, going along with that metaphor, is watching something coming in and then kind of jumping on board with it.
Yeah.
And then the focus goes from what is that thing to where are we going? There's another thing that's kind of in the middle of those two extremes. I don't know if it's on the same spectrum, but it's the idea that most of us do when we're just scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in between, because it's like, I'm not actually jumping on board to see where it's going. And I'm not just letting it come and pass.
No.
I'm like, oh, dopamine. Oh, dopamine. Oh, dopamine.
Yeah.
Oh, dopamine.
Yeah.
Oh, dopamine. And I think that's maybe actually a form of hypnosis. I don't know why I said maybe.
Certainly.
That is a form of hypnosis. But I think that those two extremes can kind of get us to the same place. It's just a different method. Where I think that a lot of times in my meditation life, I can get to a very hypnotic place because everything quiets down.
Yeah.
And when I go the hypnotic route, it gets to that same space because there's more noise.
Yeah.
But it's focused noise. It's intentional noise.
Yeah.
Instead of the random dopamine noise.
Hypnosis to me always has that connection with dreams, because it's like, here's the chatter of the day, and then my brain takes that and like chews on it. Like, what is this teaching me about myself and others? And so that's kind of how I experience it. When my mind is just blank, I don't feel like I come away with anything. I just come away as blank as the experience was. I'm like, well, that was interesting experience.
I mean, for me, at least, after the blank experience and sitting in it, it can oftentimes have the same, some of the same like feeling. Like I don't know what the lesson or my unconscious mind is trying to say cognitively, but I can oftentimes be like, oh, that's what I need to work on.
After you've had the blank experience?
Yeah.
So it adds clarity.
I think so.
I don't know if I've experienced that. This could just be a bad meditator. How do you, when you need to kind of find clarity on something, how do you do that? Like, what's just very personally?
When I find clarity, I mean, I think that
maybe when you're seeking clarity,
the meditation, I mean, that's a good question because it's a very nuanced question.
I expected your response would be.
Yeah. I think, so what I'll say is meditation takes a lot longer to get past that like silence barrier for me.
To like find and break through into like, I'm sitting in silence now.
And then to get on
toning down.
And then to get on the other side of the silence, which is where insight, I think, comes for me.
How long does that take?
I mean, that could take hours. That's why I like hypnosis so much, because I can just go there.
Yes. Me too. I like, can we just get there already?
Yeah. So that's
I think I just don't get it, like the meditation thing.
Yeah?
There's no part of me that like wants to meditate.
No?
No.
I love that.
I'd love to know if you think that says something about me, or if you have thoughts.
You're very to the point. I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad. And if anybody else experiences that,
I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, I don't think that it's bad at all. I thinking about it, I don't think it's wasted time, because I do think it's a very strong muscle in my head. It's a really great tool. At the same time, I put a lot of work into that.
You did
a lot of work. Long meditation sessions.
That might be it. Of like, what's the return on investment?
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah. Well, if it's for insight, I would say yes. That's like more of like a side product of meditation.
Maybe I'm missing the point then. It's like a side bonus of meditation.
And I think it's just a different thing. I think for meditation, for me, it's gotten a lot of, it's created a muscle in my brain where I'm way more open to just experiencing and having a feeling without knowing what the we were talking about this the other day, is like we were talking about my interaction with archetypes.
Yeah. Yes.
And how it's like when I want to go learn about an archetype, I think that's a lot of people, they like head towards that archetype and they want to say like, how do I learn more about this archetype? But I think it's kind of biased for the archetype because the archetype is just interacting with us, and it also has motivations for me, and I like to be like, all right, let's learn about this archetype. Let's see how it reacts to all of these other archetypes and all of these other parts of me all at once.
Yeah.
And I think meditation has kind of like calmed that. That used to be very scary. And it's also created a lot of space that I didn't have to control, like the hormonal production in my brain. Because remember, I talked about this in the class, but I've had 2 traumatic brain injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So my brain, especially to the amygdala and the occipital lobe, where the most damage was done, those parts of my brain just like produced all these fight, flight, or freeze responses. So that's why I say it's like different, because
you should definitely lean on that more. And people are like, oh, this, that, or the other thing, or this is frustrating. TBI. Sorry, guys. TBI.
I used to do that a lot.
I'd be using the shit out of that.
The problem is that people get real bored with it.
Damn, it's true. It's true.
Because you know me.
Well, it's these empaths, you know. Just...
Yes. I may not be very good with empaths. But
just making fun of empaths.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of the point there, is like, I don't think that I would be where because of the amount of hormones that my brain produces, I don't think I would be where I am if it wasn't for meditation. But that's a different tool that I'm going to use from hypnosis to go and find out the insight.
Right tool, right person is kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so I love the idea of like centering prayer and kind of getting to a grounded enough state to where I can actually go into it. I don't know if the return on the investment, like you were saying, is good for meditation if we're just going for insight. It's like, hey, I want to get to the root of this issue.
So meditation more for like regulation.
Way more concise way of saying everything that I just said. Yes.
Cool. Doesn't provide the nuance. Regulation. Do I like regulation? How do I regulate? I think I regulate through like the to the point stuff that I do. It's like regulation is like, what is this for? Okay, great. There's the system. It's regulated. And so sometimes I'll get too much into a system and, you know, get like stressed and panicked and stuff, and then I'll pull back. But I'll usually pull back into something else, like kind of the counterpoint to it. So like I'm being too much of the worker, so I'll go be the explorer, right? Or like, you know, the audience member, right? Let me go absorb or consume an artist who's making beautiful music or a visual piece, you know, because that's a way for me to receive rather than create. And so I don't know if I sit in this in-between space. The in-between space makes no sense to me. I'm like, I mean, that's me though too. It's so, like I'm either 1 or 10, like you were saying earlier today. It's like 5. What do I need a 5 for?
Right.
So like a binary system.
How do you come back to the dysregulating thing then?
Well, usually the opposite experience informs coming back too, right? So if I am let's say business owner, leader, right? And so then I'll go be an audience member, a follower, right? I'm just really excited. And, there's a couple like people I follow on social media that I'm just like, man, I just am enthralled, fangirling over this, where a lot of times people fangirl over my content because they're like, wow, this hypnotherapist guy and this dream interpreter. And so then I go fangirl to experience it from the other angle, which informs being the content creator again. And so that in-between space, I don't know, it could just be my brain. And so maybe sharing this with everybody, if, that comment struck me of just like, yeah, hypnosis is very different. And that's why I like it so much, because I don't know if there's something I'm missing with the meditation stuff, but it's never been exciting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's really cool. What my brain, a part of me just popped up and was just like, so you get grounded by contrast.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's great. And absolutely, many meditation practices are just about contrast.
How so? Like, I don't even understand that.
Yeah.
How would you do a meditation practice guided by contrast?
A lot of the meta meditations.
I don't know what that is.
Maybe that's a topic for a different I'll
put it on the list.
Well, and maybe what this is, what our conversation is getting to is just how non-comparable these things are. Because
maybe I compare everything. Again,
there you go.
Understanding by contrast. They're not comparable. Let's sit in the middle. What are you talking about? They need to fight each other. Yeah, I think perhaps I find connection through conflict.
Yeah.
It's like these two are diametrically opposed. They should be best friends.
Yeah.
So tell me, because I think you do experience the regulation and the insight from a very different space than I do.
Well, and that said, it's like meditation there's thousands of different types of meditation. So that's like saying,
maybe I don't understand meditation.
It's like are animals compared to planes? Maybe that's why I'm saying it's like not really comparable just based on the words, because there's so many things that could be. It's like, yeah, there are some animals that are compared to planes, but not a lizard.
I think it's a great point though, because I will often say, like, I'm not a counselor, right? I am a what do I call it, like applied philosophy, right? Yeah. I'm an emotional mathematician. Yeah. I think everything can be reduced to an equation, and I love that. Binary systems, right? It's like it's a 1 or a 0. Plug it into the algorithm, and there you go. Like, did you not get the answer you wanted? Well, then one of your variables was incorrect. You should fix it. It really is in my brain that simple, but I think it's the simplicity and the intensity of definition that provides the nuance.
Yeah.
Where I think for you, it might be the nuance that provides the specificity.
Yeah, that's really great.
Yeah. It's like, no, it's right or wrong. Which I think in a lot of our courses, well, there is no good or bad. I'm like, well, yeah, there's no good or bad because I have a right and wrong definition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, giraffes.
Drafts?
Giraffes.
Giraffes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Giraffes can go in the math problem too. I really don't think there's a thing that I can't reduce to some kind of math problem.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I was calling. I was calling it psychological engineering. I'm a psychological engineer. I'm not a counselor. I don't know what the hell that is.
I think though you have a lot of insight about your emotional world, and I think that somebody could take
my personal emotional world.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm oblivious to what I'm.
I widely disagree with that. Widely disagree with that.
I feel like I have no idea. Wife will be asking me, "What do you want?" Fuck if I know.
But that's kind of the point.
Okay.
Is like, I think that when we develop our emotional intelligence, it does become nuanced, and we have to say things like you just said.
Okay.
To somebody that hasn't done the work that you've done, that's maybe watching or listening to this, and you say it's a math problem and one of the variables, there can be unconscious attachments to one of the variables to where they don't actually look at it like a variable, and then they're not looking at it objectively like you are. They're looking at it very subjectively, and you're like, I don't really care what the variable. I have no emotional attachment to these variables being here. And they're sitting here going like, no, it needs to be like this, and the equation's not working out. So like, let's force it to.
Well, math just doesn't work that way.
I don't think that it does, but
2 is 2 and 3 is 3. You can't force it.
But people have emotional connections to things that, especially that they don't understand.
Then I think the way I'm connecting with meditation is by making things psychological, engineering math problems. It gives me the ability to detach. And maybe I'm understanding meditation as detachment.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so it's like when I'm trying to force a 2 into a 3, I can see, because of the definition, like, well, a 2 is not going to be a 3 no matter how much I force it. So it allows me and gives me an avenue to detach from the meaning I've attached to a 2.
Absolutely.
To make it a 3. I'm like, it can't be a 3.
It's
if
a
I
2.
need a 3, I need to go find one. So I'm going to go be an audience member instead of a content creator.
I think that's a really great description of what we're talking about.
But it is a very different way to attach to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't like the other one. I wonder what that is. Well, when you hear me describing things as a math equation, what does that like stir in you? Is there resistance to that?
No.
There's resistance in me to what you're saying. I dislike that. And I think it's safety, really. Yeah. We can explore that in a moment.
I think it's just a different way of looking at it. Like I see your brain looking at that. But I also know you don't have the experience with meditation. So using words and defining them, I know that you don't have attachment to it not working, because if you went down the rabbit hole of what are all the different types of thousands of different types of meditation used for, and how do these thousands of different traditions describe and use this and conceptualize it, you'd be like, no, that makes sense. That could be useful.
Yeah.
I do that in this way. That's an intentional thing that I could probably do more of that. I just want to switch those words because I don't like those words. I like these words.
Okay. I'm thinking about it, again, with systems. I'm thinking like I have a system for my website and a system for my calendar and a system for my electronic health records. And each system offers different things. Like I could use my calendar for some documentation. I could use my, health record system for some scheduling, but that's not what I'm using it for. And so each one has attachment and features and stuff. And I'm like, nope, the ones that are important to me are these. And that connects with this because I only use these features of that one. And that connects with this one. And so now I've taken what are 3 independent variables and attached some modifiers to them, like x plus 2 multiplied by y minus 3 equals, so we're into algebra here.
Yeah. And I mean, there's plenty of different traditions about meditation, but they can be very, very prescriptive. So
there's my resistance.
How so?
Prescriptive?
Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do.
Oh, no. I mean, like this is good for this, and it's got these attributes, and like if you do this, then you can very clearly see this outcome. And I think that somebody that where their brain works like yours could highly benefit from understanding what is the process, especially in the brain, that happens, even mathematically.
Yeah.
And then there's always the nuance to it, where many teachers of meditation will say, this is what we know, going back to your calendar, like you can use this for the other things, but it's going to be most effective if you use it this way.
Yeah.
And you need to know how you're going to interact with the calendar.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there are times in my life, explaining it that way, when I need space.
Sure.
Because the demands of each character, each role that I'm playing are so intense that I need to shut them down and create space to process, right? Like you can't solve a math equation while the variables are in flux.
Sure.
That's like a physics principle, right? Like, with quantum mechanics, you can know the movement of a particle or the position of a particle, but not both. That's Heisenberg's uncertainty principle.
reading a book about dimensions now.
I'm so sorry, guys. I promise not to bring, only once per podcast will I bring up theoretical physics. That was my one. Thank you.
They're getting. We need to talk about this more in depth, just the two of us.
What?
Because I'm reading one about just the topic and the dimensionality of reality that we haven't taken into consideration for a long time.
I've told you about panpsychism, right? Like where the universe is made of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's my favorite right now. Yeah.
I got a book I want you to read.
Okay. I've been looking for a good new book. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. The I think the overall subject here, though, is we could talk about this vast stuff, and even like we're talking about, if I say, hey man, like I think there are some good meditation practices that you would really like because they fit really well into that paradigm that we're discussing. That even doesn't mean that it's comparable to hypnosis. And the reason why I like hypnosis is, and it is two different tools. I want the practice of using certain meditations to have certain outcomes.
Yeah.
But there's also some space that it's like, I need to get to it.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that people, and sometimes we just need to break through that barrier. We just need to like punch through it even.
Yeah, you won't know until you get into it. I think that's what guides my life in a lot of ways. It's like we could spend all day, pissing and farting on this side of the fence trying to figure it out, or you can just go stand in it and be like, well, it's warm and it's sticky. Now I get it.
Yeah. And there's I like when people bring up comparing meditation or groundedness or what was the centering prayer? I like the comparison because there's constructs being created to try and conceptualize something new. And I think that that's what that really is it's like, I don't have a construct for being able to go there because I didn't even know that there was a door there. How could I walk through it? And then the person's like, oh shit, there's a door here, but this leads to outside. What's outside?
Yep.
To somebody that's never experienced what's outside, that's a lot. And so I think that there's some pretty cool, and I always entertain the idea when somebody comes to me and says like, well, is it like meditation? Well, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Where it used to really frustrate me.
I love it. I think they're trying to make some sort of attachment to a new idea, which is how we learn, right? Like, as we go through stuff, we connect to things based on what we know. And from that foundation, we learn how it's different.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what I'd like to do. And so I think sometimes that can be off-putting to individuals who try and have a relationship with me because there's some inherent conflict in a relationship with me of like, well, I need to know why it's different or why they don't agree. Because by understanding and appreciating those differences and why they don't agree, I can be closer.
Oof.
But some people get uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's tough. And I think very descriptive of hypnosis too.
Yeah. I guess why I like hypnosis.
Yeah.
So you have spaces for that groundedness, that mindfulness, that space in ways that I don't have as much.
I don't know. I think that you do.
Just in a different way.
Yeah. I think so. I would encourage anybody watching or listening to this, like I do think having those things of being grounded and also training, because that's what that side of things are, the meditative side of things. It is much more about training. I think the training to be able to choose to be grounded or be okay with not being grounded is an essential skill.
this is making me think of something else, and we got to wrap up because this is a great conversation. Because we could go for hours. But perhaps one of the things that is uniquely different about my background is this intense adherence to a system. And so the way that I grew up and the things that I experienced were just very intensely follow the system, do it the right way. You know, the meditation that was often on my mind, I would say this to myself once a day, is the quote, he who is slack in his work is brother to him who destroys. Have you heard of that quote before?
No, but I got chills thinking about that.
And I'm curious for your emotional response, but he who is slack in his work is brother to him who destroys. Someone's going to figure out where that's from in the comments below, and it's going to be good. And tag me in it for sure. And so, you know, you'd get to that thing of like, well, I finished 95% of it. I just need to tidy up. And he'd be like, great, I'm bored. Let's move on. I never could, because that mantra would come into my head, like, he who is slack is brother to the destroyer. And I was like, if you don't finish it 100% all the way through the way it's supposed to be done, you are creating a precipice for destruction.
The two images that come into my mind are this a friend of mine, his dogs were wrestling, and one of them got his jaw stuck in the other one's collar, and the other one, as it was choking, ended up strangling himself, trying to get away. That's what happens if you don't have any slack. And the other one is the Norse figure of Surtur, which is in the Marvel movies, very, in my opinion, poorly.
I don't even remember him.
He's the being that destroys Asgard.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, and I think there's an innate assumption in that statement that destruction is bad. I think destruction is as important as anything that has ever been created. And
I'd agree with that.
Without destruction. And so it comes back for me to the point of not just like slack it is next to the brother of destruction, but like, do I get to choose? And then the goosebumps came from, you didn't get to choose with that statement.
No.
Is that it's just like, this is bad.
I'm a machine.
Yeah.
I've always thought of myself in that way. And I think I'm exploring not thinking of myself in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a machine. I am an algorithm.
I love it. Destruction can be one of the most beautiful things that I've ever experienced in this reality.
Yeah. And I very much agree with that too. I think when I use that word destruction in that quote, I'm talking about unintentional destruction. So almost like a Viktor Frankl existential of like pain and destruction are inevitable, but the power of human beings is giving meaning to the pain and destruction. And so far be it from me to be an individual who engages in destruction and pain without having a purpose. I really, in every time that I talk about like my frustration with empaths and with counselors and all that stuff, it is always because of an individual who, because of a shirking of responsibility, creates destruction in somebody else. I really struggle. I would almost say I can't forgive that. You had the responsibility to do better and see this through, and you didn't, and it caused pain for others. Unforgivable.
That might change.
It probably will change. That's more personal reflection, not instruction.
I appreciate that about you, though.
Yeah. And sometimes I can be brutal in that way of just like, no, it's wrong. But 95% was right. I don't care.
Yeah.
Did you finish it 100%? No, I don't care. Do it better next time. Because that's the monologue inside my own head. Yeah. So meditation being in that in-between space.
Dangerous.
Spit it out. Dangerous. Yeah. So it gets back to safety. But that's for another podcast. God damn. Any closing thoughts? We didn't know what we were going to talk about. No, holy moly.
I was just thinking that.
Always the best. Always the best.
Let's come back and talk about Surtur.
Yeah, I would love that. Would love that. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you feel more like Zach's side with some real deep appreciation and connection for meditation? Or are you more on my side of like, I don't get it, man. Like, let's fight it out. And then that will show the strengths and weaknesses of the opposing viewpoints.
That's great.
Let me know. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Till then, bye.